After a hard-fought 7-game series between the last two Canadian teams in these playoffs, we witnessed an incredible ending to a fantastic series. It's officially all over for the Vancouver Canucks, so let's break down how the Oilers were able to pull off a massive Game 7 victory. Coming into this game, there was some big news surrounding Vancouver as it was announced that their leading goal scorer in Brock Boeser would miss Game 7 due to blood clots. That is a big hole to fill for Vancouver, considering they've struggled to generate shots in this series. Out of the gate, it seemed like the Canucks were playing a bit tentative with it being Game 7. However, Arthur Silovs was an absolute dog. With the Canucks getting in their passive defensive zone coverage, the puck is rimmed around to Holloway, who has Kane nearby as a drop option. Zadorov, who has been beefing with Kane all series long, decides he's just going to take the body despite Holloway keeping possession, and this Canuck winger here stays put to potentially cut off a pass to the point. With no immediate pressure on Holloway, he just attacks the seam, throws one on net, the rebound pops out, and my god, what a sickening save from Silovs to keep this game at zeros. This kid is straight out of the Matrix. What a fantastic play, and he was easily the Canucks' best player in the first 20 minutes. Shortly after that, Ilya Mikheyev is all alone in front. He beats Skinner, but he can't beat himself, and he misses a wide open cage. Leaf fans have seen those stone hands before, and the Canucks miss a glorious opportunity to score the first goal of the game. With Edmonton out shooting the Canucks again in the first, they would take a 4-minute penalty after this stick catches Pettersson square in the face. Unfortunately for Vancouver, this power play did them more harm than good. The Oilers have the #1 PK in the playoffs for a reason, and that's because they are fantastic at shutting down the entries of opposing teams' power plays. Teams can't even get their looks because they can't enter the zone and set up. With the Oilers 1-3 forcing the Canucks into tough passes and 50-50 pucks, that made life difficult for Vancouver to get comfortable and create a play. Here, the pressure forces the Canuck D to put this pass into the skates of Lindholm, and as soon as there's a bobbled puck, Connor Brown jumps all over it to go on a breakaway. Somebody get this man some lessons with Charlie Conway, though, so that he can use the triple deke instead of shooting it directly at Silovs. The Oilers kill off the double minor, and it seemingly sucked any momentum that Vancouver had. The shots were 13-2 after the first, and early in the second, the Oilers would get on the board first. It's these tiny details like face-off wins that play a huge part of the game. This goal was a direct example of that, as the Oilers are actually going to lose this draw, but Holloway jumps into the circle, beats his man, and sends it right back to the point. Edmonton goes D to D, and it's Cody Ceci with a cannon to put this one in the back of the net. I had a double take to make sure it was actually the same guy who gave us this masterpiece of a shot just a few years ago, but it looks like he's been wiring pucks in the driveway every summer since, as he beats Silovs clean. Then the Canucks get into some penalty trouble, and as we all know, the Oilers' power play is pretty much automatic. Now, Vancouver had done a great job in games 5 and 6 keeping the Oilers' power play off the board, with them going 0 for 8. The Canucks have taken away that backdoor play with the winger sliding down to seal it off completely. So the Oilers have adjusted by having McDavid coming in to fill that space once Nugent-Hopkins shifts down to the post. That leaves everyone worried about him backdoor, while McJesus steps in on Main Street with a clear shot at the net. This sicko sends it back over to Draisaitl with a clear shot, and Silovs makes an absurd glove save on Draisaitl to keep this game at 1. Just a complete robbery. The kid is playing out of his skin. He's the third string goalie, and the Canucks just aren't providing enough support. The dam finally breaks once again off a shot from Evan Bouchard to make it 2-0. As Edmonton rims this puck, the Canucks again default to their passive D-zone coverage. As the puck goes to the point to Bouchard, he does a quick pump fake knowing that he's got all this space to operate. He waits for Hyman to get fully in the vision of Silovs, and he sends a floater of a wrister off the post and in to make it a 2-0 game. The Oilers expose this passivity from Vancouver in their own end all series long, and they do it yet again in Game 7. With them being down by 2, Vancouver did start to press, and despite missing some golden opportunities by shooting it wide, Stuart Skinner played solid. His struggles have been well documented in this series, but he had to make a few point-blank saves to maintain the lead. Of course, you can only hold off this Oiler power play for so long, as finally they break through and make it a 3-0 game. Again, the Canucks take away that backdoor or cross-ice pass, and they want to force Edmonton to use Bouchard to beat them with range. Here, Draisaitl tries to outweight the PK, everyone stares at him, and he finally goes to Bouchard for a bomb. It goes off the boards, and Nugent-Hopkins plays the bounce and rips it right away to give Edmonton a massive 3-goal lead. Even when you do everything right, sometimes the bounces just aren't in your favor. After that, it seemed pretty hopeless for the Canucks, as they just didn't generate much in the second and then the first 10 minutes of the third. But Connor Garland, who is by far the best Canucks skater in Game 7, sparked some life with his forecheck. As the F1 in Vancouver's 1-2-2, his speed forces a quick outlook pass to McLeod, who now has to make a quick pass to just avoid Pettersson as the F2. That causes him to just whiff on this puck, and Connor Garland swoops in and fires one to get the Canucks on the board. With the way that this Canuck team makes comebacks, that one goal brought the entire building alive. The pressure of Vancouver forces an ozone draw, and this is the version of Quinn Hughes that has been missing in this series. Hughes activates down the wall, that brings all 5 Oilers below the dot. He creates separation with a stop-up, and Hronek has all this space to step right in and blast one home to make it a 1-goal game. Vancouver is absolutely rocking, and the Oilers are having flashbacks to Game 1. But credit to Coach Chris Knobloch, because right after this goal, he calls a quick timeout. The momentum is clearly in the Canucks' favor, but a quick regroup to slow things down and just focus on making a play was enough to just settle down the nerves. McDavid also said afterwards that Darnell Nurse called the team together to calm everyone down during the TV timeout, and in the remaining few minutes, the Oilers did a fantastic job at eating away at the clock and blocking shots in front of Stuart Skinner. In the final seconds, the puck was centered to JT Miller. He fully leans into this one, but it hits his own guy in front in Nikita Zadorov, and that would be the game, as the Oilers take this one in 7. Now, a couple things on both of these teams. First, starting with Vancouver, what a massive turnaround for this franchise in just over a year. Last season, they were an absolute mess from top to bottom. Then Coach Rick Tocchet came in. He provided a standard for how this team should play, and absolutely everyone bought in. From being down to their 3rd-string goalie to having heroic comebacks in these playoffs, this team had no quit at any point. Unfortunately, they ran into an Oilers team that has been fueled by adversity all season long. With their backs against the wall, down 3-2 with goaltending issues, this team did an excellent job of defending and pulling together 2 wins in a row to move on. Looking at the numbers, the Oilers led in pretty much every crucial metric, and the result ended up reflecting just that. So, what did you think of that 7-game series? Who surprised you? Who let you down? Do the Oilers even stand a chance against Dallas? Let us know in the comments down below. We got a complete round 3 preview coming out on the channel this week, so make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you don't miss out on a single thing.